Ambassador Jorvik's antennae twitched nervously as he observed the human delegation entering the Grand Council chamber. The 5 representatives from Earth walked with an unusual restraint that seemed almost predatory to the seasoned galactic diplomat. Something had changed in their demeanor since the last summit. "They look different today," whispered Trellin, his aide, whose translucent skin had paled considerably. "Yes," Jorvik agreed. "They are not smiling." For 30 years, humanity had been part of the Galactic Concord, a collection of over 300 species united in peaceful exploration and trade. Humans were classified as Deathworlders, creatures evolved on a planet with extreme gravity, atmospheric toxins, and dangerous predators. Such evolutionary pressure had forged them into resilient beings with exceptional strength and endurance by galactic standards. But what truly terrified the other species was that humans had done something no other Deathworlder had accomplished. They had concealed their nature. For decades, they had carefully modulated their movements, calibrated their voices, and restrained their physical capabilities to appear gentle and unthreatening. Until today. The lead human, Ambassador Reed, approached the podium. His delegation moved with undisguised fluidity now, their natural grace no longer suppressed. The chamber fell silent as every representative from the Concord's member species watched with growing unease. "Esteemed colleagues," Reed began, his voice no longer artificially softened. "For 30 years, Earth has been a loyal member of this Concord. We have contributed technologies, shared resources, and followed your customs with absolute precision." Council leader, a gas-filled entity named Vosh, floated forward. "And we have welcomed your contributions, Ambassador. Is there a problem?" Reed's face remained impassive. 3 days ago, a human research vessel in the Outer Rim was attacked by Kryzan forces. All 78 crew members were killed. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Kryzans were a newly discovered hostile species that had been raiding border worlds. "We express our deepest sympathies," Vosh said, translucent membranes pulsing with what passed for emotion in its species. "But the Concord has voted not to engage militarily with the Kryzans. We seek diplomatic solutions." While 19 other Concord vessels have been destroyed in the past year, Reed continued as if Vosh hadn't spoken. Each time the Council voted for restraint, for patience, for diplomatic outreach, Ambassador Jorvik felt a cold sensation spread through his thorax. The human delegation stood differently now. They weren't hunching to appear smaller. They weren't blinking excessively to seem less predatory. They weren't hiding what they were. "Humans have respected your ways," Reed said. "We've followed your protocols. We've even altered our natural behaviors to make you comfortable. But you've mistaken our courtesy for weakness." The Grand Council chamber, designed with perfect acoustics, carried his words to every ear, antenna, and sensory receptor. "Earth has unanimously voted to act unilaterally against the Kryzan threat," Reed announced. "We will no longer pretend to be what we are not." Vosh's membranes pulsed rapidly. "Ambassador, this is highly irregular. The Concord functions on consensus. No single species can—" "We're not asking permission," Reed interrupted. "We're informing you of our decision. The human fleet has already mobilized." Pandemonium erupted in the chamber. Some representatives floated or scurried toward exits. Others shouted questions or protests. The security drones hovered uncertainly, their programming insufficient for this unprecedented situation. Through the chaos, Jorvik watched the 5 humans. They stood perfectly still, calm centers in the storm they had created. For the first time, he saw them as they truly were. Apex predators displaying the controlled power that had conquered their brutal homeworld. "Order." Vosh's amplified voice finally quieted the chamber. "Ambassador Reed, you must understand. The Concord cannot allow one species to engage in military action that might escalate." "You misunderstand," said Reed. "We're not escalating. We're ending it." He tapped his wrist device and a holographic display appeared above the chamber floor. It showed a real-time tactical map of a distant star system. Hundreds of small dots, human vessels, surrounded a larger cluster of Kryzan ships. The entire council watched in stunned silence as the human fleet moved with devastating coordination. Within minutes, The Kreesan armada was reduced to scattered debris. That was their main fleet, Reed explained calmly. Their homeworld has surrendered unconditionally. The threat is neutralized. The silence that followed was absolute. Even the ambient system seemed to quiet in shock. You had this capability all along, Vosh finally asked. Reed nodded once. Humanity has maintained a defense force since our first steps into space. We believed in being prepared while hoping for peace. When we joined the Conquered, we deliberately understated our military capacity out of respect for your cultural aversion to shows of force. Jorvik's analytical mind began processing implications. Humans had hidden not just their physical nature, but their entire strategic capability from the galactic community. They had presented themselves as enthusiastic but harmless newcomers, while maintaining forces that could evidently overwhelm a threat the entire Conquered had feared. Tomorrow, Reed continued, Earth's representatives will present a new security protocol for the Conquered's consideration. We remain committed to peace, but we will no longer pretend that peace can exist without the strength to defend it. As the human delegation turned to leave, Reed paused and looked back at the assembled representatives. For 30 years, we've carefully simulated being something we're not. We've moved slowly, spoken softly, and hidden our true nature to make you comfortable. That ends today. We are Deathworlders. We evolved fighting to survive. But we choose to be your allies, not your subjects or your pets. The 5 humans walked out, their natural gait now fluid and powerful, no longer hiding the predators they had always been. In the silence they left behind, Jorvik realized that the galaxy had fundamentally changed. Humanity had revealed itself, and the Conquered would never be the same.